Introduction, the invitation to silence before we begin. Find a quiet space. Let the noise of your world fade away. Good. Now, breathe in with me, a slow, deep breath that fills your lungs. Hold it for a moment, and now exhale. Let go of your day. Imagine yourself standing at the threshold of a forest at twilight. This is no ordinary forest of fairy tales. There is no charming cottage, no friendly woodland creatures. The air itself feels ancient, heavy with unspoken stories. The trees, gnarled and twisted with age, grow impossibly close together. Their branches interlock high above, weaving a dense ceiling that has starved the forest floor of sunlight for centuries. They are the guardians of this place, and they swallow everything, the sky, and most of all, the sound. Listen. What do you hear? Nothing. There are no birds to sing the evening song. There are no insects to buzz in the fading light. The wind itself seems to die the moment it touches the outer leaves, afraid to venture further. The silence here is not an absence of sound. It is a presence. It is the loudest thing you have ever felt. The only sound you can register is the soft, muffled beat of your own heart, a lonely drum in a vast, quiet hole. But wait. Beneath that, if you listen with more than just your ears, you can feel something else. A low hum in the earth, a deep vibration, a presence that was here long before the trees. This is the Japanese call it Jukai, the sea of trees. They say this forest is so still, so profoundly silent, that it has learned to listen to the thoughts of those who walk its paths. Tonight, we will walk those hidden paths together. We will listen to what it has to say. Some call this place cursed, a magnet for sorrow. Others have called it their final home, the only place that understood their pain. They say a person alone wouldn't last a single night here. But you are not alone. I will be your guide through the shadows. So, if you feel comfortable, close your eyes. Let the darkness behind your eyelids merge with the twilight of the woods. Take one more deep breath and listen. Segment 1. The Silent Burden. A cultural echo. To understand the forest, we must first understand a feeling woven into the very fabric of Japanese culture: honor. It's a concept heavier than fear, deeper than bone. Imagine a life built like a perfect, delicate piece of pottery. To fail in your duty, in your career, in love, can feel like a single, devastating crack. And for some, that crack makes the entire vessel feel worthless. For centuries, in the age of the samurai, the act of seppuku was not seen as a surrender, but as a final, powerful act of control, a noble death. Today, the swords are gone, but that echo of honor and shame persists. It has simply become quieter. Behind the bright lights of Tokyo, behind closed doors and tired eyes, behind polite smiles, there is a silent epidemic, a cultural weight that is rarely spoken of, a pressure to be perfect, to never be a burden. And when that pressure becomes too much to bear, some seek a place that understands silence. Aokigahara became more than just a forest. It became a symbol, a destination, a place where those who felt invisible in the bustling world could finally feel seen, even if only by the trees. Some left detailed notes, carefully pinned to a branch. Others left only a pair of empty shoes, placed neatly at the edge of a trail. But every soul who walked in with no intention of walking out carried something with them, a pain too heavy to keep carrying. Segment 2. The forest itself, where the world goes mute at the base of the majestic, sleeping Mount Fuji. Aokigahara spreads out like a dark, green ocean, frozen in time. This is not soil you are walking on. The ground itself is twisted, black volcanic rock from Fuji's last great eruption. It's porous, full of tiny holes, a landscape that literally drinks sound. This is why it's so quiet here. The earth itself absorbs every echo. And this rock is rich with magnetic iron. It tugs at compasses, spinning their needles in confusion. It interferes with GPS signals and cell phones. Step off the main path, wander just a few hundred feet into the dense trees, and the forests can make the world forget you. The locals have a saying, a warning: do not leave the path. Do not trust your own sense of direction. You will see them as you walk, brightly colored ribbons and tapes tied to trees, a breadcrumb trail of hope or of despair. Some are left by those planning to return, are left by those who are not. Sometimes people follow these ribbons, hoping to find someone to help. But what they often find is only more silence. Volunteer patrols used to search here. Now, they don't speak much about what they see. A tent, zipped up in the middle of a clearing, a perfectly folded set of clothes on a log, and an eaten meal, waiting forever. It's as if some people, even in their final moments, were just ghosts passing through. Aokigahara doesn't haunt you with screams. It haunts you with absence. Segment 3. The unseen, Irei yokai, and the whispering trees in Japanese folklore. There is a belief. When a person dies with a heart full of powerful emotion, deep sorrow, anger, regret, their spirit does not move on. It becomes a yere, a faint spirit, tethered to the place of its pain, unable to let go. Many believe Aokigahara is saturated with them, that the silent air is thick with their presence, listening, watching, waiting. Explorers who have spent time here speak of things they can't explain. The distinct feeling of being watched from all directions. Shadows that move in your peripheral vision, where no shadow should be. A sudden, intense cold spot in the air, even on a warm day. And voices. Faint whispers on the wind that almost sound like your own name. And then, there are the older things. The spirits of the forest itself, tricksters, guardians, and sometimes monsters. Are they real? Or does the profound silence and isolation of the forest simply awaken the parts of our own minds that we try to keep locked away? The fear, the paranoia, the sadness. The forest becomes a mirror, reflecting the shadows we carry inside of us. Perhaps the most terrifying stories here are not told by the forest, but whispered by our own inner demons. Segment 4. Staying the night. The mirror of silence. A few have dared to stay the night. Not to die, but to listen, to understand, to make a pilgrimage into the heart of their own personal silence. But this is not a simple decision. It is a ritual. It begins before you even enter the trees, with the preparation. You pack for survival, but you are truly preparing for something else entirely. A headlamp, extra batteries, water, a warm sleeping bag. These are tools for the body. But what do you pack for the soul? You leave behind your phone, your connection to the noisy world. You tell someone where you are going, a single thread back to reality, and as you take those first steps off the known path, you make a silent contract with the forest. I am here to listen. I mean no harm. I am only a visitor. The first hour is about the light. You watch as dusk begins its slow descent. The light doesn't just fade here, it is consumed. The thick canopy of leaves drinks the golden rays, pulling the darkness up from the volcanic soil long before the sun has truly set. The forest transforms. Shapes that were just trees in the daylight now become figures. The silence, which was peaceful, now gains a certain weight. It feels expectant. You set up your small camp, Every sound you make feels like a sacrilege. The rustle of the tent fabric, the click of a pole, the crunch of your boots on a twig, each one is a shout in a sacred library. And then you sit and you wait. The first stage is always fear. It's a primal, animal thing. Your mind, starved of its usual distractions, begins to feed on itself. Every snapping twig is a footstep. Every gentle moan of the wind through the high branches is a voice. You see things in the corner of your eye, a flicker of movement, a shadow that seems too deep, too dark. Your heart beats a fast rhythm against the slow, deep hum of the woods. You think of the stories, the Yurei, the lost souls. You ask yourself, what have I done? You fight the urge to turn on your flashlight, to cut a hole in the oppressive dark. You are a tiny island of warmth and light in an ocean of cold, ancient mystery. This is the first test. Can you endure your own fear? Most who fail here. They pack up, their nerve broken, and flee back to the familiar world. But if you stay, if you breathe through the fear, something remarkable happens. The fear does not vanish. It transforms. It settles, like silt in still water. The frantic beating of your heart slows, and for the first time, it begins to sync with the silence around you. This is the point of surrender. You accept that you are not in control here. You are a guest. You stop fighting the darkness, and instead, you become a part of it. You don't just listen to the silence. You listen from within it. And that is when the forest truly begins to speak. Not with voices, but with memories. The mirror turns towards you. With nothing else to process, your mind opens its own archives. A memory from childhood, so vivid you can smell the summer rain on the pavement, a feeling you haven't felt in decades. The face of a first love appears in your mind's eye, not as a photograph, but as a living presence. You remember the sound of their laugh, the feeling of their hand in yours. You feel the ghost of that old joy and the echo of that old pain. The forest is listening, and it shows you what you carry. A deep regret surfaces, a moment where you were unkind, a word you wish you could take back. There is no one to judge you here. There is only you, and the memory, and the crushing weight of what was. The forest allows you to feel it completely, without distraction. Some people weep, not from fear, but from a profound sense of release. Tears they didn't even know they were holding back. This is the heart of the experience. It is not a haunting from without, but a haunting from within. The Yurei are not just the spirits in the trees, they are the ghosts of our own past, the specters of our choices. As the night deepens, you might drift into a state between waking and sleeping. The dreams here are different. They don't feel like they come from you. You dream in languages you don't know. You see landscapes that feel older than humanity. You feel emotions that are vast and elemental. The sorrow of a mountain, the patience of a stone, the slow, unyielding life of a tree. It's as if, for a moment, the consciousness of the forest itself seeps into your own. You feel the weight of all the centuries it has stood here, watching. You wake up, not from a noise, but from a silence, so total it feels like a physical weight, pressing down on you. The air is cold, sharp in your lungs. You are completely, utterly alone. And yet, you do not feel lonely. You feel seen, understood in a way the human world, with all its noise and judgment, could never understand. Then, the first hint of dawn. It is not a grand arrival. It is a slow, hesitant grace. A single, pale blue ray of light pierces the canopy, like a pinhole in a black ceiling. Then another, and another. The forest gives you back the world. Piece by piece, the oppressive figures of the night resolve back into simple, moss-covered trees. The silence is still there, but its character has changed. It is no longer expectant, it is serene. You survived. Not a monster, not a ghost. You survived yourself. Packing up your camp is a different ritual now. It is slow, deliberate, full of reverence. You leave no trace. You take nothing but the experience. As you walk back towards the path, the forest seems to watch you go. Its secrets held safe once more. When you emerge, the world feels wrong. The sound of a distant car is a violent roar. The colors seem too bright, too loud. You carry the silence of Aokigahara within you for days, a low hum in your soul. You went in seeking to understand the forest. You came out for the first time, beginning to understand yourself. Segment 5. The path out and the echo within. So, the night is over. The mirror has shown you your own reflection, but the journey is not complete. The final lesson of Aokigahara is not found in the deepest dark, but on the path that leads out of it. Because this forest, for all its sorrow, is not only a place of endings, it is also a place of desperate, clinging hope. And you can see it if you know where to look. Look at the base of the trees. There you will find signs. Not ancient, cryptic warnings, but modern, human pleas. They are placed here by volunteers, by monks, by people who refuse to let the forest have the final say. One sign, weathered by the rain, might read, "Your life is a precious gift from your parents. Please think of them and of your family." Another, nailed carefully to a tree, says, "Please reconsider. Please call us," followed by a phone number for a prevention hotline. A tiny thread of connection, offered to those who feel most disconnected. Imagine the person who put that sign there, the hope they must carry in their heart, the belief that a single, kind word might be enough to turn someone around, to convince them to take the first step on the path back. There are legends of a local monk who patrols the forest's edge. He doesn't preach, he doesn't judge, he simply walks, and if he finds someone sitting, looking lost, he sits with them, silently. Sometimes he offers them tea from sometimes they sit for hours without a word. He offers not a solution, but a presence, a quiet declaration that they are not alone. These acts of compassion are the forest's true counter-narrative. They are small lights fighting against a great darkness. They remind us that for every soul that feels lost, there is another soul searching for them. Now, look at the forest itself. Look beyond the sadness. See it for what it is, a miracle of nature. This entire sea of trees grows on hard, unforgiving volcanic rock. It should be barren. It should be lifeless. But it is not. Life here is tenacious. It is stubborn. The roots of these great trees don't go down deep. They spread out wide, crawling over the rock, interlocking with each other for support. They hold each other up. A lesson, perhaps. When the ground beneath you is hard and offers no nourishment, the only way to stand strong is to connect with those around you. Look at the moss. It is everywhere, a vibrant, deep green blanket covering the dark rock, the fallen branches, the forgotten relics. It is nature's velvet. It softens the hard edges. It reclaims everything. Slowly, gently, it turns decay into beauty. It is the perfect symbol of healing. The forest is not evil. It is indifferent. And in its indifference, it offers a profound truth. It does not care about your failures. It does not care about your social status, your wealth, your regrets. It simply is. And it allows you to simply be. There is a beautiful concept in Japanese culture called mano no aware. It doesn't have a perfect English translation. It is the gentle sadness of things, the awareness of it is the bittersweet feeling you get when you see the cherry blossoms. knowing that their breathtaking beauty will only last for a week. It is the feeling of watching the sunset, a moment of perfect beauty that is, by its very nature, a moment of ending. Mano no Aware is not depression. It is a deep, quiet appreciation for the transient nature of life. It teaches that things are beautiful because they do not last forever. Aokigahara, in a way, is a cathedral of Mano no Aware. It is a place that confronts you with the fragility of life, and in doing so, it begs you to recognize its preciousness. The sadness here is immense. The history is heavy, but the beauty is also undeniable. The way the light filters through the leaves, the intricate patterns of the moss, the sacred silence. To appreciate this beauty alongside the sorrow is to understand this profound lesson. Life is a tapestry of light and shadow. We cannot have one without the other. So, let us walk the path out now. Together, feel the ground under your feet becoming more solid. Notice the light beginning to grow stronger, warmer. You begin to hear the first tentative sounds of the outside world. A distant bird, the hum of a world that never stopped turning. You do not have to journey to a place like Aokigahara to confront your inner silence. You carry a quiet place within you, always. The lesson of the forest is not to seek out darkness. The lesson is to learn that you have the strength to face the darkness that is already within you. The mirror it showed you, you can access it any time. In meditation, in quiet reflection, in the moments just before you fall asleep, listen to the whispers of your own past, not as ghosts that haunt you, but as teachers who have shaped you. Acknowledge your regrets, not as chains that bind you, but as proof that you have learned, that you have grown, that you wish to be better. Feel your sorrows, not as a weight that will drown you, but as a testament to the fact that you have loved, that you have cared deeply. You are now emerging from the tree line. The full sun is on your face. It is warm, it is real. Take a deep breath, not of the silent, heavy air of the forest, but of the fresh, open air of the world. You do not have to be a silent island. Your roots can spread out and connect. The greatest strength is found in allowing yourself to be supported. The sea of trees is behind you now. Its lessons are a part of you. The silence it gave you is a tool you can carry forever. But its sadness, you can choose to leave that at the forest's edge. Your life is not a forgotten note pinned to a tree. It is an unwritten book, and there are so many blank pages yet to fill. Breathe in and begin. You've made it to the edge of the forest. The wind returns. A bird sings. You are still here. Thank you for walking with me tonight. If you want more stories like this, the quiet kind, the ones that hum beneath your dreams, like, comment and find me again. The Full Silence lives on my channel. And tonight, may your thoughts sleep before you do. Good night, and don't stray too far from the path.